What is up, everybody? Mr. Good Guy here, aka MGG, and this is another AfrOtaku interview. I'm here with my co-host.
What's going on? It's Jugga.
And we have our special guest here.
Hi, this is Raj. How are you guys? Raj Ramayya.
Cool.
Fine. That's fine. Thanks for joining us, Raj.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast, Raj. Raj has done a whole bunch of stuff. Do you want to give the audience like a brief spiel of like all the things that you're into? Because the list is long, it looks like.
Yeah, the list is really long. I'm from Canada originally, but I lived half my life in Tokyo, Japan. So I
oh wow, okay.
started working with Yoko Kanno and some other composers many years ago, almost 20 years ago, and ended up staying in Japan working on music for a lot of video games, anime like Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, and video games like Resident Evil, just a whole bunch of different ones. Over the years, I worked writing and singing for Konami as well. So mainly I've been working as a singer-songwriter, and nowadays I'm working more as a composer-producer. But I have a 20-year track record in Japan, working on a lot of different projects, domestically and internationally. I live here now in California, and I have a studio in San Francisco North Bay called Strawberry Hill Music, www.strawberryhillmusic.com. And we produce music for animation or anime, games, film, and television. And we have a lot of workshops and events at the studio for those otaku out there who are interested in meeting people who create voiceover, sound design, and music and want to learn from them. So we produce it, music, voiceover, and sound design, and we also have classes that teach people to do these things at the studio. And you can learn more about us at our website, and you can see more about me at rajramayya.com. And join me on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're a singer or songwriter or composer, we'd love to hear your music. You never know, you could end up on one of our productions at some point.
Wow. Yeah, like for real.
Yeah, I'm envious.
It'd be great to get some of those lessons. We are.
Yeah, I'll be there in next month.
Yeah,
4th of July.
We're out here in
Chicago. I'm there.
Oh wow, that'd actually be great if possibly we could meet up with you if you have any time available.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be at what's it, Anime Midwest? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I'll be at Anime Midwest.
Yep. We're familiar with
flying in on that Friday the 5th, and it's just funny because you guys, we just called right now. I just got my flight a few minutes ago.
Oh, really?
Well, okay. Literally like 30 seconds, my flight popped up, and I was looking at the flight details, and I realized, hey, we have a little interview going on in a minute too. So I'll be on my way over to your area of the world for the July. Well, I guess 5th of July through the 7th. I'll be there at Anime Midwest. So come on down. I'll be doing a little acoustic show where I'll be playing songs that I've sung on or arranged for anime, mostly like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, and just Cowboy Bebop songs, and just a variety of different kind of anime hits. I just do an acoustic solo thing at conventions, and once in a while I come with a full band, but most of the time I'm just doing acoustic solo stuff a few times a year at different conventions, and then I'm off to Tokyo next week to do more stuff like that. So
sweet,
cool. Typically when we have interviews on the podcast, we always like to hear a story time. Mm-hmm. It's like a segment that we do on the regular podcast where one of the members of the podcast usually shares a funny story or something that might have happened to them in the past or recently. So we love to bring that to the interview space as well, and we always ask who we interview to come with the story time. So hopefully you thought of one.
Surprise there! I have too many of them to count, so it's hard to remember which one. It's like so many of them that have happened. Man, that's a good one. I've got so many stories. I was in a bar in Berkeley, California. This is good, actually. It just happened last week. I was at a bar at Berkeley, California, waiting for a friend, and they put on the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack from the movie.
Oh wow!
And I'm singing the theme song, and I'm listening to myself on the speakers in this bar, and the staff are talking about how they love the soundtrack for Cowboy Bebop, the movie. And I was like, and I said, "Hey, that's me singing." And they were like, "Bullshit," and they just, they completely blew me out of the water and didn't believe me.
Wow.
What? I was like, "You're not even going to check on that?" Check on it. They just said, "No way, bro. That's it." And I was like, "Okay, all right, whatever."
Wow, so, that's cool. They could at least help you out with a Google search, like.
Yeah, they just thought I was some guy drunk at the bar.
Wow.
I was like, "Oh man, how embarrassing." Yeah.
Wow, that's cold blood. Don't go to that bar no more.
Exactly. I'm not going back there anymore.
No, they probably feeling salty like right now. They'd be like, you know what, this guy, what was his name? Like Raj, right? They probably looking him up today, just be like, wait a minute, you said Raj? Oh, snap.
Yeah, there's not like a ton of Indian guys that sing anime, right? So it's like, what?
Yeah. Oh, no. That's a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was good. Okay. Cool. So I guess into some more questions. One thing I'm curious about is really, I think, how you kind of got started into the whole music space. You said you spent some time in Japan. Was that like growing up, or is this like post, like kind of adult life that you lived over there?
It was my adult life that I went there.
Okay.
But I lived there half my life. Like I lived there, for 20 years.
Oh.
So I stayed for a long time in Japan. I went there during university, and then I went back and forth for a while, and then I ended up just living there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I managed to develop a solid career in music pretty quickly there. So I just sort of stayed and continued doing music work for different companies there in Japan, and enjoyed it for a long time. And then I moved here a while ago. And decided I wanted to live in California. So, I got into music just because it was what I always wanted to do, and I thought I'd try it for a few years. But as I said, it turned into a solid career, and I just kept going with it. I just at the time, anime and games and manga and all these things were kind of taking off. The otaku kind of thing was taking off in Japan, so timing was good. I was there at the right time, and I was just very fortunate to be in the right place at the right time, and people kind of clued into me, and I got a very good deal with Victor Entertainment, which was a big company there. Got signed to the label, and then ended up writing for a lot of people, and there just weren't a lot of sort of foreigners out there that sang and wrote songs. So there was more opportunities because there wasn't as much going on in that world. Of course, it's almost, like it's Japan, so it's a Japanese scene. So I was a little bit unusual. So that was.
I see. It got people's attention. All right, that's good stuff. So, like what you said, you went to university. Did you perchance like study music, or did you have pretty much like have a major or anything like that dealing with music or music production?
I teach music production
okay.
right now at a university as well. So I have an arts degree. I have several degrees in arts, and I use that basically to leverage myself into music. And so spent most of my time studying and learning and working with a lot of different composers and people like that. So
wow,
I have a strong background in music.
So as far as like coming here, and then starting like Strawberry Hill, what was that journey like? Was this something that you kind of always wanted to start, or something you fell into? It sounds like you guys do a lot of interesting stuff, like teaching music to people and things like that. It sounds like it's a little bit more than a business for you. So I'm curious to see what that journey was like.
It's pretty much a way of life for us. Like we're here working on a game right now. We're always working on some form of visual music for visual media or sound design, voiceover. So our friends and our colleagues and students are all kind of interactive. We all know each other, and it's like a community. So I think, and because I teach as well as produce and write, it's like it is a community, definitely, of people. So
Oh no, you
I'm sorry,
got
did I
you got the
sidetrack that
second
question?
half of it. The first half was kind of just like coming here from Japan. Was it something you started immediately? Were you working at some other places first, and then you started that up? Or how did you go about creating that?
When as soon as I
Oh,
got
cool.
here from Japan, I this is what I wanted to do. So I just went ahead and started, on my own. And now there are 10 of us here. And it's kind of grown
Mhm.
slowly but steadily over the past 3 to 4 years, and it's been good. I think we're making all the right moves, and we enjoy this world a lot, and we've got great friends in the
Yeah.
community. So like you guys, more friends, right? So it's yeah, so it's been growing very
Yeah.
organically, and yes,
Wow.
this is what I wanted to do.
Um, let's see where we want to go from here.
Trying to
I would
see.
say, what's one of your most favorite projects to work on?
Um, I like them all.
Hmm.
I feel very blessed that I can actually do this for a living. So I feel like it's everything is fun and everything is a challenge. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've got anything in particular that's my favorite. I like working on games or animation or anime or film and television stuff,
Yeah.
songwriting for people. It's all fun for me, basically. It keeps me really um,
Hmm.
always thinking and always learning. So it's like a real mind opening
Got it.
experience.
Okay.
It's a challenge all the time,
Hmm.
basically, but a good one.
Well, that's good. When I was pretty much just checking out like some of the video games and anime you were doing, it seemed like most of the at least the anime kind of genre was more of like that kind of cool and like smooth flowing anime where it makes you like think or it makes you like really deep about makes you really think about the deep aspects just of life in general that the anime try and touch on. Is that perchance one of like your favorite kinds of genre, or actually working in those kind of anime, you just kind of got drawn to it by for some other reason?
Um, I think that it's more like they chose me more than I'm me choosing them. It's hard to choose what you work on in this industry. You have to sort of expect that people are going to choose you, and they're going to decide what they
Hmm.
think
Okay.
you can fit into. And so I think I sort of fit into those buckets. And people heard my voice or my writing style and decided that this would be a good fit for me when I was just purely
Interesting.
working as an
Okay.
artist. So yeah.
So like with those like once you actually, I mean, I'm sure you watched the anime after you like created the soundtracks and such. How did you really feel about like that final product
Mhm.
in the sense that like did you kind of like see that anime like working out as it did after you like create that final soundtrack, or did you perchance at times be like well, I was more thinking about like this in my head, and they created this, or did it like kind of match out like perfectly? Like they kind of literally picked your music that fit exactly right with the anime that they produced.
Um, I'm never sure what the final product is going to be. I'm not always involved in all those decisions, and I'm more or less asked to do certain things, whatever it's singing or songwriting or composing. So I only
Ah,
know my
gotcha.
little part of the world, so I'm never sure what's going to happen and what's going to work and what's not going to work. I can sometimes I'm just shocked and
Hmm.
surprised by stuff how popular it can become, and then I'm surprised sometimes with really great
Hmm.
stuff that doesn't go anywhere. So I really don't know. It's hard to tell really what's going to work and what's
Oh,
not. You
yeah, I
just
hear
know
you
what's good. So,
there.
yeah.
In the end,
Well, from working
popularity.
on
But
all
no,
these
okay,
like
that's
anime
great.
and games, I want to ask from like the otaku slash gamer, casual gamer in me. What do you watch and what do you play?
Um, that's a really good question.
If you have time to.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have to. You know, I was just gonna say that I don't have any time. I'm here. It's like 6:30. I'll be here till midnight working on this game music. So
Oh wow.
I don't know where I'm gonna have time to play games. You know, it's like and to watch anything.
Right.
I think the only time I ever watch or play anything is when I'm on a flight. So I'm off to Tokyo next Monday, and then I'll be watching, I'll be catching up on anime on the plane. Basically, that's the only time I have any time to do anything on flights. And I think that it's very typical of people in my
Sure.
situation that we're really busy and don't have time to play and watch. Until we go to a convention or we're on a flight or we're away from our workspace, you know. So,
Gotcha.
I just work. That's all I do all the time.
So I guess
it's fun and boring.
Maybe before you got so busy, what were you into then?
Yeah, I mean, I was just into a lot of science fiction,
Okay.
basically. Yeah, and tons and tons of science fiction, and you know, some of the you know, the original anime that I saw when I first came to Japan are very different from what's coming out right now. So it was hard to sort of say I was into anime at the very beginning. I was yeah, I'm more into science fiction and fantasy, but that translated really well into anime.
True.
Because it's
I could definitely see that musically. I mean, science fiction literally opens up like the world into like the entire universe practically, and even other worlds in general. So I'm sure like the music options got to range from literally anything and everything, depending on what kind of universe those science fiction kind of anime or even video games too want to truly explore. So I can see your attraction to that and just being like the flexibility alone. Just be like, hey, this could definitely go with this scene, and then like for example, you get like a country song, like even like for one scene, and then oh man, you went back in time to I don't know, some kind of like old 20s, like oh hey, see, and then you got like a different kind of flow. So no, I could definitely see that being pretty interesting and fun, at least to experiment with.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Sorry, I think my connection messed up
So,
a little bit.
yeah.
Wait,
I'm back
MGG,
on
are you
now.
still there?
Can you guys hear me?
Okay. No, yeah, we can hear you all right. Just are you still like are you
Yeah,
still
I think
recording
everything's
okay,
good.
or is everything all right?
Cool.
Okay, just wanted to check to make sure.
Sorry about
But okay then. Oh
that.
no, go ahead.
Yeah. So we went over that. Um.
Let's see. Oh, from the like the history and like research I did on YouTube, Raj, seems like you did a bit of voice acting in your days.
Yeah. I did a little bit of voice acting. I guess my first real voice acting gig was on Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
And I was that main character, Bruce McGivern.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, and then ironically, Karen Strassman from Resident Evil 2 was here at the studio last week doing a voice
Wow.
over class from the reboot.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
kind of
Oh, what do you
interesting.
know?
Yeah, that's another interesting story, right? Resident Evil 2 is rebooted, and then yeah, and you know, it's just yeah, that's my first sort of gig as a voice actor. I was doing mainly a lot of singing work, but voice acting sometimes for some games and some animation. So yeah, I've definitely done that over the years too.
Huh. So like when you are like voice acting for characters, I mean I'm sure a lot of our listeners who's also trying to get into the game, like anything audio related to like anime or video games, are probably curious about like how do you really get into that mindset when you're like voice acting? Do you kind of like see the character's actions first and then try to like literally mimic that, or like you could just talk about that for just a little bit?
Well, I like to learn as much as I can about the actual character and
Okay.
then find a reference. and then channel that character through the reference. And I always tell people, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Find
Okay.
find something that influences your reference point. And because we cast a lot of voice actors here at the studio for different projects, and so I end up having to hear a lot of auditions, and
Sure.
it's you can sort of tell those people who've really thought the character through and listen and read the description carefully, and went after a voice that the producers or the directors would naturally sort of imagine with that character. And so I think the people that study and really understand and take classes and understand how the acting and the business and the sort of physicality of it all works tend to be successful with everything.
Gotcha.
So it's a kind of a holistic approach to everything, understanding everything, what people are looking for.
Huh. So is there I guess with that kind of mindset, I would kind of imagine that there's literally like a person that could fit every character, but is there maybe how do I really word this? Like, is there like a certain kind of character that even if someone who seems like the match would be perfect, it's still like tough to kind of match for some reason? Is there like some kind of character or personality kind of traits of like an anime or video game character that's kind of hard to mimic or truly get into? And really needs some kind of special work or some kind of special thought they have to put into that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's certain sort of iconic characters that require special tone of voice, a really excellent performance and delivery, and somebody who can stay in character for a long time. So there's certain characters that are very tough. They might require an accent, a tone, a consistency of character that not everybody has. And you see voice actors who are successful, as I said, like that have studied this and understand how to give the directors and producers what they want. And at the end of the day, it has to be something the directors and producers want and know they can sell to people out there who are watching, the fans.
Interesting. Have you perchance ever been a part of a project where like the producers and like creators of the anime or video game has actually adjusted the character to the voice actor that they really want to play it perchance? Like they kind of flipped it a little bit, like, oh man, we want this voice actor so much. Let's actually switch the character a little bit to be more like him and vice versa.
I haven't dealt with that. I've had producers fire people and find somebody else. That way, they're more like, this guy is not the right guy. I'm finding somebody else. Let's find somebody else. I think that unless it's somebody famous, like you're huge or you're like an incredible voice actor, there are a lot of choices out there. So you got to be really good and be able to do what they ask you to do. Unless you're like a big time, like you're famous and you're a big actor and they're willing to adjust the character to your voice. But in general, I would say that's not going to happen. I would say that they would just find some. Yeah, that'd be rare. Yeah, but if you're like, I don't know, Brad Pitt or something, yeah, I see it happening.
Oh no,
not for me.
Well, you never know. Maybe one day, Raj. You never know. Oh man.
So switch gears back to music again. I think I'm also curious because I know you go around and you're talking about you play some of the music you compose. I think with your band you also play some anime openings as well. Is there any one in particular that you like a lot, like because maybe it's challenging to play or you just like the sound of it? If so, why? If you have a favorite like anime opening or ending.
I like Ride on Shooting Star from Fulicula.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's one of my favorite songs to play because no one plays it acoustically, so I love playing it, and I get to sing it in Japanese, which is fun, and I just love that song. So it's a fun song to play, and I play some other songs like Pokemon, the Pokemon theme song,
classic,
which always gets people going, right? And Chala, which always gets people going. So yeah, I mean, I like singing in Japanese. I think that's always a lot of fun.
Oh no, I definitely hear you there. I actually went to high school and took Japanese just so I could watch anime without the subtitles. Didn't work with only 4 years of training, but I tried.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Also, like, well, I guess that's a nice segue into Japan. I got the chance to actually go out there like a couple years back for my first time. Um, Beautiful
Hmm.
place. Obviously, you love it a lot. So, I mean, definitely for the people who haven't been to Japan, maybe share some like great things about it. Maybe is there like restaurants people should go try? What would you feel like if I went to Japan again, maybe next year? How could
Hmm.
like if I left, what would you be disappointed that I didn't go do?
Oh, well, I mean, it's tough because I get that question a lot because I have a lot of friends who are obsessed with
Yeah.
Japan and want to go there. Uh, I mean, what I tell people to do is don't try to do
mm,
everything quickly.
Okay.
And I tell them, like, like if you're going to go, just don't try to cover the whole country in a week. It's better to go and, say, I'm going to spend the whole week in Tokyo or in that vicinity, like just Tokyo, Osaka, or
Hmm.
something like that. And give yourself time to do things. And because it's better to in my opinion, it's better to really enjoy each day you're there instead of trying to rush around to different places. And I think that Tokyo has so much going on that you need, a week's not
Yeah.
enough time, and 2 weeks is not enough time. I
Yep.
mean, it would take you a year to really get into Tokyo, but I would say, if you have a week or two, I would spend a whole week in Tokyo just getting to know what Tokyo has to offer. And I would say maybe avoid some of the touristy things and try to do what, some of the traditional things the Japanese people do and go to some of the out of the way
Hmm.
places, as well as the tourist places, so that you can see how people live, in
mm.
Japan for real. So, and lots of ramen.
Yes, I had my fill of ramen when I went out there, for sure. And the 7-Elevens
Yeah,
were amazing.
yeah, exactly. Eat at 7-Eleven as much as possible. I have another good story actually. 'Cause I used to love the like egg
Mm.
sandwiches at the Lawson, and I was always ashamed. I was like, oh my god, I think I'm just like I'm. It's kind of like, wow, it's this cheap sandwich like for like 120 yen, which is like
Yeah.
Mhm.
a dollar, right? I was like, man, this is a low class thing to be eating all the time, loving so much. It was like a
Hmm.
forbidden pleasure. And then I saw Anthony
Yes.
Bourdain, the famous chef
Wow.
Yep. Yep.
in the show. I saw one of his shows last year before he passed away. He said one of the best things about Japan, the most tastiest things around, is the egg
Wow.
sandwich at Lawson. I was like, all right.
Almost confirmed it for you.
Years, years of hiding my sandwiches so people couldn't see me eating them, and I was like, okay, I'm out of the closet now. I'm eating
You got the
Japanese.
go ahead. Now you can literally brag about it.
Yeah, I had thumbs up from Anthony, and that was it. I was flashing my sandwiches on the train
Wow.
and
That's
everywhere.
nuts.
Um, I, I feel like I asked this already with the projects, but uh, I'm still just curious to know as far as like, well, maybe I'll ask it this way. So, anime gaming, what's the difference kind of between creating between the two? Are they pretty similar when it comes to composing for those, or do you feel like it's kind of like a project per project thing?
I think it's
Okay.
they're very different, and it is project per project. Everything's very different. Yeah, yeah. I mean, games are like 1 minute loops
Yeah.
that have to
Oh,
be
I see.
incredibly catchy, but cues for anime or
Right.
something like that don't all have to be catchy. It's a very different world.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's
Interesting.
project per project, really.
Hmm.
All right.
Trying to make sure we just cover all the bases. Uh, no, I think we're
Yeah.
good. Uh,
Got it. Good. All right. Got it. All right. Well, thank you so
No,
much for having me.
Yeah, for real.
No, thank you for having us. That's what we should
Yeah,
be.
for real.
You've dropped so much knowledge on us. I feel like I have a like I don't know sensei in you to a degree when it comes to like I don't think I've explored enough about Japan. I don't think I know about music. I don't think
Yeah, for sure.
I have a long life to live. I'll put it that way.
Okay. Well, hopefully you guys can drop by. If you want to drop by Anime Midwest, I'll get some passes for you ready. Just
Well, that's
email me,
very
let me know,
kind.
and
Thank
I'll
you
pass
very
this
much.
ready for you, okay?
Oh wow, thank you. Yeah, we will definitely take advantage of that.
Okay.
Please let the people know again where they can find you before we close out. And
Yeah, well, you can find me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. It's just Raj Ramayya, RAJRAMAYYA. And then my website is the same thing, rajramayya.com. And if you want to check out the stuff we do at the studio, it's strawberryhillmusic.com. We would love to hear from you. You can always reach out to us at info@strawberryhillmusic.com and send us your reel if you're a voice actor or a composer or singer. Have fun, enjoy anime, enjoy games, and I hope to see you at Anime Midwest or
No
one of the
doubt.
other conventions
No doubt.
in the years to come.
cool.
Yep. Thank you. You have a
Thanks
nice
for
one.
being on.
Until
Raj.
next time.
Appreciate
Have a
it.
good one. Take care.
All right. See
You
guys
too.
later.
Bye.
Bye bye.